the way for Mizzou in their last win. I'm Ben Arnett with Jordan Roundtree. And Jordan, it was Bates who sparked the Tigers to that victory over #1 Kansas.
Yeah, Tamar Bates' performance will be remembered by Mizzou fans for a very long time. He went 9 of 15 from the field and a perfect 9 for 9 from the free throw line. This Kansas City kid, you can tell, came in here with no fear and had all the extra motivation in the world during this game and showed out in front of a sold-out crowd of 15,000 fans.
The 29 points gets the headlines, but he also helped spark a fierce Mizzou defensive effort with 5 steals. Missouri played their best game of the season against the best team in the country.
Yeah, Missouri led for all but 1 minute and 43 seconds. They forced 22 turnovers. Kansas entered the day with just 9 turnovers on average. It was really all Mizzou all day. Held Kansas just to 39% shooting, so it was definitely a dominant performance for the Tigers.
All right, so what about the follow-up? Fans filing in to see if Mizzou can extend their winning streak to 9 games, taking on the Long Island Sharks, who bring in a 4-8 record to this late morning matchup in Columbia, Missouri on Norm Stewart Court. Josh Gray is ready. Jordan's ready. I'm ready. The fans are ready. And we're ready to tip it up here between Mizzou and Long Island University. Longest homestand in the history of the program continues as LIU wins the tip. And it's Terrell Strickland, the son of the coach, running the point for the Sharks. Pass almost stolen by Tony Perkins. Driving is Malachi Davis, and this will stay with Long Island University. 11 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, some good defense out of the gates there by the Tigers, coming off a great defensive performance against Kansas. We'll see if that can stand here this afternoon.
You and I have done a lot of these early season games on this 10-game non-con homestand, and that's been the common thread. It starts with defense for this Mizzou team. 3 from the corner, no good. And Missouri with a stop on their first possession. It's the same starting 5 for the Missouri Tigers that they put out last Sunday in the win over KU, with Tony Perkins in that 5th spot. Robinson feeds the post, immediate double team on Josh Gray, and his pass for Tamar Bates is into the first row.
Looks like Long Island is starting this game in a bit of a zone. Quick double team down low on Josh Gray. Got the Tigers a little bit miscombobulated there on offense.
Usual starting 5 that they have settled into for the majority of the season for Long Island, including Brent Davis. Shot off the mark from Jamal Fuller. An offensive rebound for LIU. Davis, good pass, and Terrell Strickland has the first points of the day.
There's a beautiful dunk down pass there by Malachi Davis. He's normally the scorer of the group.
Corner 3, Anthony Robinson. Offensive board on his own miss. Missouri will reset. Tigers have done a really good job offensively this season of not settling for bad threes and getting to the basket.
They sure have. They have definitely showed on offense a good mixture, a good balance from their scoring.
There's a drive and dish, and Mark Mitchell earns a trip to the foul line.
Mark Mitchell had a good shooting performance against Kansas. Went 8 for 12 from the free throw line. You can see this dump down pass from Davis. Just beautiful cut there by Strickland as well. Really good job of LIU keeping active and keeping motion on offense.
Terrell Strickland, a transfer from James Madison, as Mitchell misses the first. Averaged 7 points a game last year playing for his father. There you see could be a key to this game. Long Island fouls among the most in the country, and Missouri is one of the best free throw shooting teams in America.
The big focus of Coach Gates at the beginning of the season when I talked to him was he wanted his team to get to the free throw line significantly more than last year, and they have been able to do that so far this year.
Well, and you've got 2 guys shooting 90% or better from the line, Anthony Robinson and Tamar Bates. And so if you get into a close game late like they did against Kansas, Mizzou's got 2 different options. Get the ball to either one of those guys and then make your money at the foul line.
Completely, totally automatic. Tamar Bates has missed 1 free throw all year.
Missouri defending late in the shot clock, and a rejection by Anthony Robinson. And LIU couldn't get a shot off because of Missouri's stifling defense.
We've talked so much about Missouri's offense as they're averaging almost 90 points a game, but their defense has really been what has brought them so much success this season. Anthony Robinson with a beautiful block there. Doesn't have a ton of height or size on him, but on defense, man, he gets a ton of steals and gets those blocks too when the opportunity presents itself.
And he got to the cup that time with an aggressive drive, and Missouri's got their first lead. Malachi Davis gives it up to Lassou, and now Brent Davis on the drive and kick. Malachi Davis, the floater.
Malachi Davis does such a good job of finding ways to score every single possession. He doesn't need to take open threes. He doesn't need to find wide open lanes. He's a shot maker. He's a shot creator, and he's going to find a bucket.
Brent Malachi Davis, no relation, by the way. One's from Toronto, the other's from Florida, which couldn't be further apart. There's a drive and bucket for Mark Mitchell.
That dominance, physical body Mark Mitchell's got. He does such a good job of getting to the rim with authority. He uses his speed against slower defenders, and you can see that pay off right there.
Malachi Davis to the top of the key. Perkins picks him up. Good rotation on the outlet. And then a nice look on the baseline and the finish by Jamal Fuller.
Yeah, LIU is doing a really good job of keeping the ball moving on offense. They're finding the open man, making the right cuts. They look really fluid on the offensive end right now.
Strickland there, you could tell he was hunting for the great shot, not the good shot. Bates in the paint.
Kamar Bates keeps it simple there. Another thing that Missouri Tigers have done so well this year is keeping it simple on offense, something that they've really, really struggled with last year was their offense.
Better depth and a higher talent level across the board for Mizzou with their 10 newcomers. And a turnover. Another one by Long Island. Missouri and Long Island in a tight one early on. We're 4 minutes into it, and it's 7-6 Mizzou.
In every facet, Missouri really showed their defensive dominance and made it hard for Kansas to score on all areas of the floor.
Tigers have already forced 2 turnovers in the early going here. Can't convert after that last one as the lob was off the mark. Looking for Anthony Robinson.
What an athlete Anthony Robinson is not the biggest guy on the floor usually at any given moment, but that guy can soar through the air, I can tell you that much.
Confidence is just soaring with him, you can tell early in this season. Had kind of a stop and start freshman year because he had an illness and a death in the family, and then just kind of the ups and downs that a freshman has in their first season in college basketball. But he doesn't look like a freshman. He doesn't look like a sophomore. He looks like he wants to take control of every single game. Completely.
And Coach Gates has made it very clear to Anthony Robinson from the minute he got here that he was going to be the guy. He was going to be their starting point guard, and he needed him to act as such. And he's really taken that to heart, you can tell, just as a sophomore leading this team.
Malachi Davis rattles home a floater. Bates attacks the rim, trying to answer immediately. And touched on it a little bit earlier, but that has been, in my opinion, one of the most impressive things about Mizzou this year. Just the aggressiveness offensively. They don't settle.
They don't settle, and oftentimes they're getting a shot up early on in that shot clock, or they're not even letting the defense get back and get set in their half-court defense.
Bates hits the first. Tie ball game here in the early going. Aiden Shaw checks in for Missouri. Man making the decisions on the sideline for Long Island University, the former All-NBA point guard, Ron Strickland. As Bates hits both free throws. Missouri back in front. This has been a back and forth first 5 minutes of this one.
Tigers sitting in a little 2-3 zone here, switching things up on defense, keeping LIU on their toes. On their heels, I guess.
Lassou down low, but good rim protection by Mark Mitchell. Missouri running off the miss. Perkins thought about it. Now he'll pull from 3. And that just rattled in and out. Davis drives to the hoop. Well, that closed up quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, Malachi Davis, man, he gets to the rim with authority. It doesn't take him more than just a couple dribbles.
Another turnover by Ron Strickland's team. It's his 3rd season leading this Long Island program. A lot of folks remember him from his days with the early 90s Trailblazers. Had a 17-year NBA career, then got into coaching. Was an assistant at South Florida along with his G League tenure. Coaching in his hometown, New York City, where he's a member of the New York City Basketball Hall of Fame. Aiden Shaw on a nice cut. Gets cut off. Still worked his way into a pretty good shot. It's out of bounds off Missouri.
Really good footwork and patience there by Aiden Shaw. Didn't get it to go, but that's something you didn't see a lot in his earlier years, was him using that strength and his size and ability down low with back to the basket moves. So definitely good to see him down there battling with the big guys.
Missouri continues with this zone. 0 for 1 from beyond the arc for Long Island in the early going of this one. Fuller from the outside. Didn't get the roll, into the hands of Mitchell. Missouri pushing tempo again. Baseline drive by Shaw. Fuller is there. Quick movement by the Tigers. Behind the back move by Robinson. And now a 3 from Shaw, and he does get the roll.
Good shot there by Aiden Shaw, but that was all Anthony Robinson. His ability as a point guard to get into the paint and then facilitate. Once you can draw that extra defender, he's always able to find the open man, and it's a great job by Aiden Shaw converting. You
saw the difference on the two different ends of the court on those last two possessions. Ball got stuck for LIU. Missouri didn't let that happen. Just into the game, Jalen Lee swung around to Davis, and once again they just have to take a long 3 late in the shot clock, and that is out of bounds off of LIU. Another look at the penetrate and kick action here from Robinson.
Beautiful behind the back move, lowers that shoulder a little bit, gets balance, draws that open defender. Just the perfect execution right there by Anthony Robinson. Great shot, great shot by Aiden Shaw.
In rhythm for Missouri. Their largest lead, 4 points, now looking to build. Bates just looking on the block, nothing there. Now it's Mitchell. Mitchell right to the basket. Missouri's got a distinct size and physical advantage in this game today.
Yeah, you can really tell they're having their way in the paint right now. Mark Mitchell using that strong frame, couple dribbles, turn back over that left shoulder. He likes that move quite a bit. But like you said, Ben, the Tigers definitely have the size and strength advantage down low.
8 of the first 14 points have been in the paint. Zingy Lee gives it up, and that was no good from Jalen Lee. Shaw, Warwick, knocked it down.
Yeah, the Tigers needed that one. They wanted to see a 3 go. Got the fans a little bit more excited. Marquez Warwick gets him going from the 3-point line. The Tigers needed that one big.
Missouri's on a 10-0 run. Timeout called by Long Island University as Missouri starting to run up and down the floor on the Sharks. Marquez Warwick helping the Tigers build a 9-point lead.
Some people just know they can save hundreds of
lead for just about the same numbers, the capacity of Mizzou Arena. They're off to a 4-8 start, but trying to get things turned back around. A lot of transfers on this team, as you would find on pretty much any college basketball roster these days.
Yeah, and it's something recently I learned about LIU. They have a ton of sports teams, and they're a lot bigger than most people would ever imagine. So Long Island University, definitely a well-respected and popular program university in that part of the country.
Well, they got a coach in Rod Strickland. Again, we mentioned he's from the area. He grew up in the Bronx. He's back in his home city, and third year really trying to build this thing. And you know he's going to have a passion for trying to create the best program he can there at Long Island.
Yeah, if there's anyone that you want to hire and bring into your program, it's someone who has the pedigree as he does in his former professional playing experience, and you want to have someone from the area who's passionate about New York and the city, and that is Coach Rod Strickland.
All-NBA 1998, playing for the Wizards. Also has some SEC experience on his resume. He was in an administrative role for John Calipari at Kentucky at one point. Malachi Davis turns it over on the drive. Steal by Mitchell, partially created by Warwick. Jacob Cruz just into the game as Missouri looks to keep the pace up even in the half court. Warwick guarded by Lee on the switch. Missouri needs a drive, and Mark Mitchell says, I can do that, and draws a foul.
Yeah, the way that LIU is guarding right now, it looks kind of like a zone, but it's really a man. But the way that they're guarding their ball screens, they're switching just about everything. They're really getting in the gaps, not allowing Missouri to drive to the basket. So they've been able to shut down the straight line drives pretty well. The Sharks have. Missouri's having to move quite a bit off the screens to find a good shot.
Talked to Dennis Gates this morning at shoot-around. He mentioned that LIU has similar defensive style that they see in the SEC as Mitchell drives and scores.
Yeah, I can see why Coach Gates would say that for sure. You can tell that LIU is wanting to kind of switch everything, keep the intensity high, force steals. You can see out here when you look at the heights, they definitely got a team that can switch probably several positions, maybe even 1 through 4, 1 through 3 at times.
Missouri off the miss, on the run. Robinson all the way, draws another foul.
Anthony Robinson does such a good job of drawing that contact and getting to the free throw line. Take a look at it here, just attacking downhill in transition with a little in and out. What a beautiful move, the Euro step. My goodness, I didn't even realize it watching it live, how many moves he made there, but he's done such a great job of getting to the free throw line, as has this whole team.
He is so much stronger than he was a year ago. The ability to drive through that traffic and draw the foul.
Yeah, and he does so with great control.
The 85% foul shooter adds another one on there.
It's great improvement year to year. 8 point per game increase, 3 assists per game increase, and look at that field goal percentage. Huge jumps year over year.
On Robinson, Warwick, Bates, they're such good free throw shooters. Missouri will take that all day. Missouri continues to throw a zone at LIU. Strickland cut off by Warwick. Sharks are going to have to get going offensively to get back into this game. Missouri is on a 14-0 run. They've outscored them 16-2 in the last 5 minutes. Lander no good. Offensive rebound by Lee. Strickland had an open lane, but it closed quickly. Brent Davis in the corner. Fuller now with under 10 to shoot. Lander on the baseline. Missouri's everywhere defensively. And Lee gets a mid-range J to drop.
The drive and kicks there by LIU were beautiful, but Missouri is just flying around on defense.
Cruz with a triple and pinballed out. Halfway down.
It's a great defensive stand in the previous possession there by the Tigers, but Lee got it to go late. The Tigers, once they start going on these runs, 14-0 run prior to that last shot, that's when they really get dangerous this year with the fluidity of their offense and their ability to shoot the ball. Once they get rolling like that, it makes it really hard for opponents. Good job there by LIU cutting that run off.
Quick shot by Cruz, but it was in rhythm. I don't know that Dennis Gates is going to have a problem with that one. And it was on the money, just rattled out.
He's got a beautiful looking shot too. You can tell he can really shoot it.
Missouri collapses on Strickland. He's got nowhere to go until he finds Lander, but the rejection by Shaw. And another block, that one by Peyton Marshall. Here comes Mizzou on the run. Robinson draws another foul.
There's that fearlessness and transition again that we see from Anthony Robinson. He just puts so much pressure on the other team's defenses. Look at this defense by Aiden Shaw. He's got that length and can really jump out of the gym. And then Peyton Marshall comes in and seals the deal. A little double block action.
Missouri with 3 7-footers on this team. Only one player for Long Island that goes taller than 6'8".
Yeah, Missouri's already a pretty big team as it is. And you can tell they're really using that to their advantage and making LIU have to beat them from the three-point line.
Both teams really emptying benches here in the first half and using their depth. Robinson with another free throw coming here, and T.O. Barrett is getting ready to check in, the freshman point guard. Missouri pushes the lead to 13, matching their largest lead of the afternoon. Robinson gets a rest, T.O. Barrett. Missouri with 2 of their freshmen from that top 5 class in the game right now, T.O. Barrett and Peyton Marshall. Lee draws a foul. And it'll go against Aiden Shaw. That's just the 3rd team foul on the Tigers in the half. Second, pardon me.
And that's another thing the Tigers have done, and they did so well against their previous game against Kansas was playing that defense that we're talking about without fouling. Kansas only went to the free throw line, I believe, 11 times total in their game. So Missouri is showing this defensive prowess and doing so without fouling.
Nice putback there by Jason Steele, flying in off the miss. Just past the halfway point. That was a nice give and go there between the two freshmen, but couldn't connect on the pass. Marshall and Barrett. Tamar Bates and Anthony Robinson getting ready to check back in for Missouri. Malachi Davis cut off once again late in the shot clock. 7 to shoot. The floater challenged by Marshall. You don't always have to block a shot, but that is the rim protection you love to see from Marshall if you're Missouri.
Yeah, you sure do. And take a look here, Malachi Davis attacking hard. Really good job there of Lee coming in late with the offensive rebound, using that athleticism. If LIU wants to score the basket right now, they're going to have to do so on the offensive rebounds and transition. They got to get to the free throw line. Things aren't really clicking right now on offense in the half court, so they're going to have to continue to crash the boards that way.
And another turnover there, the 4th of the half by LIU. And another foul. That's the last foul to give. 16 fouls on the Sharks. The Tigers will shoot on the next one.
We talked a little bit about that at the beginning, Ben. LIU is a team that does foul relatively a lot, and Missouri gets to the free throw line a lot, so that's not a great combination for the Sharks.
Pop out screen by Shaw. Here's Bates. Under 9 to play in the first half. Missouri's lead at 11. They've been in control of this game from the get-go. Robinson, just off the back iron, challenged rebound, last touch by LIU, so it'll stay with the Tigers. Sandra Glasu checks back in for LIU. Zinyi Lee takes a rest. Bates off the inbound. They feed Marshall. Marshall just enforcing his will down there and earns a trip to the line.
Yeah, that's a hard guard if you're the LIU Sharks right now. Peyton Marshall, all of 7 foot, just a true freshman. Anytime you get it down there on the low block like that, it's going to be a hard guard if you're undersized.
This will send Marshall to the foul line. He hasn't been great at the line early in his Mizzou career, just 54%, but I think the big man can start turning it around. First of 2 off the rim. Coming up at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central Time on the SEC Network. Our college basketball triple header going to be capped off by 7th-ranked Alabama hosting a Creighton team that just knocked off then #1 Kansas last Wednesday. It's at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on the SEC Network. Marshall misses both free throws. Here LIU get this thing back into single digits and start working towards cutting into the deficit before halftime.
Yeah, not too big of a spread right now if you're LIU. They're just having trouble scoring the basketball. Missouri's not having their best offensive performance that they've ever had either.
More active hands, the steal by Robinson. Warwick to the trailer Marshall. And that one into the cheer squad. Hope everyone's okay over there. I see smiles.
Yeah, Peyton Marshall let that one go with some heat.
That was a Max Scherzer fastball. But a little high and outside. Again, the window open here a little bit for Long Island University. Missouri hasn't scored in over 2 minutes. But the Sharks have not been able to cut into this Missouri double-digit lead significantly. Another steal by Robinson. Trent Pierce just into the game. Bates. Missouri continuing to hunt for better shots, and nothing but net for Warwick.
Beautiful ball movement by the Tigers. Really started there with Trent Pierce. He had the beautiful baseline wraparound pass. Look to Tamar Bates. Great job by Missouri keeping the ball moving.
Lee, nice Nice baseline move and the fadeaway.
Beautiful move there by Jason Lee over the taller Aiden Shaw.
Shaw thought about a 3 and traveled. That'll take us to another break. 7 minutes to go. Missouri in control. Marquez Warwick dialing it up from the outside. Tigers shooting over 60% from the field. And Warwick helping Mizzou to a 12-point lead over Long Island.
Kind of going from that zone back to a man, just changing things up, keeping them on their heels.
That free throw disparity is starting to become the norm for Missouri. They've done a really good job consistently getting to the foul line. As you mentioned earlier, Missouri doesn't foul a lot. They're able to play aggressive defense without fouling. Fuller. Can't get it to go. Battle for the loose ball goes out of bounds off of Missouri, so the Sharks will keep it.
The only bright spot right now if you're the Sharks, they're doing well on the boards right now. It's tied 10-10 rebounding wise.
Poked away by Shaw, and it will once again stay with LIU. The active hands on defense for Missouri, they don't settle for a minute.
They don't. That's so impactful. It's significant when you've got those deflections, those active hands, even if it doesn't show up in the box score, the way that can disrupt an offense is huge.
There have been several times on this end of the floor where you've seen a back tap or just that extra effort by one Missouri Tiger leading to a rebound for another one. Malachi Davis cut off. And that is knocked down by Jalen Lee.
Yeah, they needed that one bad. It's a good shot by Jalen Lee. Missouri doing a good job of flying out defenders, but LIU is doing a good job of moving the ball and getting good shots. They just got to keep knocking them down.
Shaw wide open in the middle, offensive board by Pierce. And now he'll put up a corner 3. Got it, and the foul. And a chance for a 4-point play for Trent Pierce.
Everybody getting in on the fun from the 3-point line. From Missouri, Trent Pierce, you got the 7-footer. Great offensive rebound, great give and go, gets back out to the 3-point line. That's a great example of spacing. Once you get that offensive rebound, you got to get back out, find that open space. Great job there by Trent Pierce.
It's going to feel good for Pierce. He had a couple of threes in the opener against Memphis, but had struggled from the outside since. Completes the 4-point play for the Tigers. So Missouri's lead back to 13. Missouri continuing to just stifle LIU with that zone. Brent Davis can't get it to go, and the rebound by Shaw.
And that zone, that defense looks just so united. It's team defense. You can tell they're in unison the entire possession. They're staying big, using their wingspans and their length. They just really clog it up. You can tell they've got the size advantage, and they've got their arms out. Well-coached defense, you can certainly tell.
Missouri's going to retain possession here on a nice play by Mitchell to knock it out of bounds. Last touch by LIU. Warwick. Behind Shaw. Pierce. Knocks down another one from the outside.
Well, he certainly doesn't shoot the ball like a 7-footer. That's just a beautiful shot on the move there by Trent Pierce. And something we were just talking about, Ben, you've got so many guys in this Missouri team who could really shoot the 3-ball very well, but that doesn't mean they shoot it a ton. And that, I think, is a big part of their offensive efficiency this year.
Missouri 5 of 9 from beyond the arc in this game today. And they're all in rhythm shots. I don't know that they put up a bad one. Warwick with a nice drive, can't get it to go. And the rebound by Fuller. Fuller on the other end. Can't connect, another turnover. That's the 7th of the first half on LIU. Trent Pierce heating up from the outside.
Yeah, take a look at this last one. Good look from Aiden Shaw. Trent Pierce from deep on the move. No hesitation. When you got a guy who can shoot it that well, who's that tall, I mean, you know, you can't give him much space like that. It's hard to contest.
Another guy who has just developed so much from his freshman year. There He's in the corner again. That one a little long. Strickland trying to run. That looked like a carry. No call. Fuller, or Lee, pardon me, step back three. Another rebound for Mitchell. It's Missouri starting to control the glass. They've gone from even to +3 in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, and that's a result of LIU taking some quick shots. Anytime you take quick shots like that, it gives the other team an opportunity to rebound.
Mark Mitchell.
Grown man's basketball there from Mark Mitchell.
No hesitation. Just immediately went right into what he wanted to do in a three-point play opportunity.
Yeah, he makes those quick, decisive moves a lot like that. Catches it, goes off 2 feet strong up to the basket and through the contact like that. No extra movement, no extra dribbles. He makes those quick, decisive moves, and that's what you got to do if you're a guy like Mark Mitchell, who's kind of that slasher in that 3-4 position. Catch the ball like that in the short corner, make a quick move.
That's 2 years starting at Duke, right there.
Yeah, that'll help.
Almost an offensive rebound by Missouri. It will go to LIU. That's the one area that Mark Mitchell's trying to improve upon. He's been shooting better at the foul line coming into this game. Missouri still has their largest lead of the day at 18. Missouri continuing to push that ball out from the arc. Warwick on Strickland. Pop-out screen from Lassou. Still nothing there. Davis forced to drive against 2 defenders and gets it to go.
Yeah, and that's what Malachi Davis does so well. He is going to make a way out of nothing. If it looks as if there's no good shot or no good offense going, he's going to get a bucket.
Davis with 6 points now. He averages 17 a game. Mitchell on the drive, and he draws a foul. That'll be the 10th team foul on Long Island. Missouri in complete control, starting to pull away from the Long Island Sharks.
Quiet scoring nights, I would say, because he's not creating those flashy shots necessarily. He's finding open opportunities. He's finding those soft spots in the other team's defenses, and he's taking, like you said, Ben, those really high percentage shots, and he often converts on them and gets those and ones to go along with it because of that physical strength, and just really having his way right now with the Sharks defense.
And oh, by the way, we've had a 24-point lead against the #1 team in the country, and it gets whittled down to 3 in the final couple of minutes. He can hit a timely three-pointer for you also.
Yeah, he's got that mindset about him as well. Coming from Duke, this guy's not afraid of anything.
Goes to the line here. This will be 2 shots for Mitchell. It's the 10th team foul just before our break on Long Island. And Mitchell's now 0 for 2 from the line. Excuse me. 1 for 4. 0 for his last 2.
Had a pretty good night from the line against Kansas, went 8 for 12.
Missouri got the offensive rebound thanks to Trent Pierce. Josh Gray back into the game for the first time in a while as Mizzou goes big. Pierce, that's his 3rd three-pointer of the first half, and I don't think any of them have touched the rim.
They haven't, and Coach Strickland just gave his bench, his assistant coach, kind of that side eye, like, are we going to find this kid? If you're the Sharks, you got to keep an eye on Trent Pierce at this point.
That's how deep Missouri is. The 3rd or 4th guy off the bench can come in and just bombs away from the outside. Pierce with a team-high 10 points. They've all come in the last 5 or so minutes of game action. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Long Island. They've only got 5 seconds on the shot clock, though.
These active hands again by the Tigers, just making things confusing and hard for the Sharks.
Missouri's on a 12-2 run. Dennis Gates, though, he's always going to have that focus on the defensive end. That's part of why Missouri has blown out so many teams on their current 10-game homestand. Good defense by Gray. Lee back in the game, kicks it out to Strickland. Back out to Lee. Now Davis and company trying to speed up that ball movement. Strickland no good. Bounces around. Jalen Lee draws a foul.
Really good job there by the Sharks of keeping things alive, attacking the offensive glass when they can. First free throws of the day here for the Sharks.
That's quite the disparity. Missouri shot 14 free throws before Ron Strickland's team could get to the line once. It's still just the third team foul on Missouri in the half.
Yeah, we knew this would be a possibility. The Sharks do foul a good amount, and the Tigers really focus on getting to that free throw line. But again, the Tigers have also done a great job of not fouling themselves. So a huge disparity, like you said, Ben, in free throw attempts right now.
Missouri's just so quick and aggressive defensively.
And what I've noticed is they're doing a really good job of keeping LIU pushed out way beyond the three-point line, but they're also making it really hard to attack the gaps. And I don't know if that's because of their length or their cohesiveness on defense, the way that they're moving as a unit, but it's not easy to stop the three, to shut down the three, but also to shut down the driving opportunities, and the Tigers have done that so far today.
A little pressure by Long Island. Missouri handles it. Pierce gonna hit another one. That one off the back iron. Rebound by Strickland. Another good look. Knocked out of bounds by Warwick on the other end.
Yeah, just when you think that LIU is going to get a good transition opportunity, and the Tigers are always there for a deflection. Really good job by Warwick getting back. It's not an easy deflection to get, and you're running back in transition like that with your head turned the other way.
Steele back in the game. Jalen Lee. And here you go again. You were just talking about it. Missouri pushing that ball out from beyond the three-point arc. And that's going to be Mizzou's basketball.
Yeah, these are the turnovers and deflections we're talking about here. I mean, they're not always going to end up in a perfect, strip and a dunk on the other end of the court. It's going to be those clunky steals like that, and Missouri's just making things really frustrating for LIU with these deflections.
8 turnovers now by the Sharks. 2 minutes to go in the half. Missouri looking to widen their lead. Pierce again. Another one.
My goodness, he's got the green light right now. He's feeling it. He is comfortable, but Trent Pierce, with the way that he rises up on that shot, he's already 6'10". It's really hard to guard. LIU's got to stay attached to him, not let him catch the ball and get up a shot so comfortably. 13
points in 6 minutes off the bench. And there's a rebound for the sophomore, too. He's 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. Perkins. Hey. Oh, just off the back iron.
Yeah, this place would have erupted if he hit that one.
He gets another chance, but he's stripped on the drive. And now a foul called on Missouri. Goes against Mitchell.
Both of these teams right now staying aggressive. Both of them very active on both ends of the court. Both teams playing very hard right now.
Missouri's got 9 assists on their 13 made field goals. What does that tell you?
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. That offense is flowing. They're sharing the ball. They're going after the great shot, not the good shot. You can just tell that this is a well-coached team, and they're all on one accord.
Here's Strickland. Long Island's going to need a few of those to try to get back into this thing. There's 2 minutes to go in the first half. They've trimmed Missouri's lead.
Terrell Strickland shoots the ball from deep pretty well, 37% three-point shooter.
Trying to trap Warwick. Pierce ends up with that ball somehow. Mitchell uncorked that pass right in front of us, and I don't think he could have thrown it any harder.
I don't think so either. And that length, that athleticism of this Tigers team, you've got a couple guys out there that are close to 7 foot and can jump out of the gym. So oftentimes you get those errant passes and they work out just fine.
An 11-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Strickland trying to run it down. Lee has an open look, and now Perkins has it. Missouri can hold for the last shot, but they're going to run to the trailer. Slammed down by Trent Pierce. What an exclamation point on his first half.
Yeah, no kidding, Trent Pierce, the points per minute. Very impressive.
He's got 17 points in 8 minutes here in this first half. Fuller at the horn, left it short. But it was the Trent Pierce show in the first 20 minutes for Missouri. Tigers showing off their depth as they look for their 9th consecutive win. 17 first half points from Trent Pierce. Halftime coming up next from Mizzou Arena. The Tigers with a 45-24 lead on Long Island. Well, Missouri with the comfortable lead. We'll see if they can continue to entertain those fine, upstanding young gentlemen who I'm sure had no problem getting ready for an 11 a.m. start at Mizzou Arena.
On a Saturday.
So Missouri with the ball to start the second half. 21-point lead, same starting 5 they began the game with. Gray, Bates, Pierce, Mitchell, and Robinson. Bates didn't play a lot in that first half as Missouri really went to the bench. They played 11 guys in the first 20 minutes. And, of course, as we mentioned, Pierce is the one that really helped widen that lead from 10 to 20. Late in the shot clock. Open look for Perkins. Buries it.
And the LIU defense started out really good there and kind of got broke down once Tamar Bates was able to start moving that ball a little bit. But I like the way that Jamal Fuller guarded Tamar Bates in that last possession. But again, the Tigers just doing too good of a job of sharing the ball and keeping things moving.
First points for Perkins. Missouri now over 50% from beyond the arc, 8 for 15. Whistle away from the ball. Foul going to go against Missouri. And it's Anthony Robinson. First foul of the day on Robinson, who had 6 points and 3 assists. Lassou looking for Strickland, knocked out of bounds by Bates.
You could tell Bates was just reading the eyes of the passer that entire possession. Just another great example of Missouri thinking ahead of the pass, thinking ahead of the movement. That's how they're getting all those deflections.
Forced 8 turnovers in the first half, scored 10 points off those turnovers. Aggressive take, Malachi Davis.
Beautiful adjustment in the air to get beyond Mark Mitchell.
And then a swipe by Strickland on the other end, coast to coast, gets the roll.
Really good job by LIU of getting it down the court, not letting Missouri set up in their half-court defense, which is arguably, or certainly better, at least today, than their half-court defense. 4
quick points by the Sharks to get it to 20, and another steal. On the run, Brent Davis able to recover. Malachi Davis. Little teardrop and 6 straight from the Sharks.
Yeah, it's a quick little run the Sharks are going on here. They got to continue to capitalize on that and get stops.
And almost another steal that time by Shadrach Lassou.
Take a look at the beginning of this run here for LIU. And by Malachi Davis, a great drive here and adjusts midair. You get past the block of Mark Mitchell, and then you've got Strickland attacking in transition. Gets that one to go. Not letting the Tigers set up in that half-court defense is the best thing the Sharks can do right now.
Now the turnovers are even, 8 apiece. Robinson, double team. Defensive adjustment here by LIU to start the second half. Another steal. Malachi Davis, one-on-one. The putback by Brent Davis. And Dennis Gates calls a timeout. He is less than pleased on the Missouri bench. So just like that, an 8-0 run by Long Island. They've been able to cut into the lead from 24 to 16. Back in a moment on the SEC Network. Remember, Missouri had a 24-point lead on Kansas last Sunday. Jayhawks got it down to 3 at one point. An 8-0 run in the last minute and 12 seconds by Long Island has trimmed Missouri's 24-point lead to 16.
Yeah, LIU is currently in attack mode. Whatever adjustments they have at that time are working. Malachi Davis is attacking, not letting Missouri's defense get set. They're getting in those passing lanes. You got a good steal there. Pick the pocket of Tamar Bates. LIU defense is doing a good job of not letting players catch. And good job here by Davis once again, attacking the glass with some authority. Really good job here by Strickland and this entire team. In transition, attacking Missouri's defense in transition is going to be huge for them. This half-court Missouri defense is too good right now. It's too set. LIU's got to continue to get up and down the court like this.
Dennis Gates calling timeout moments ago, trying to get his team reset. Aiden Shaw is going to come back into the game for the Tigers. He replaces Tony Perkins as Missouri goes big with Mitchell and Shaw joining Bates, Warwick, and Anthony Robinson.
Yeah, Aiden Shaw did such a good job in the first half protecting that rim. Got a couple blocks, a couple rebounds. So Coach Gates maybe wanted to see a little bit more rim protection for these guards that are attacking so well for LIU.
Full court pressure, and it forces another Mizzou turnover.
Getting a little sloppy here, the Tigers. Had that big lead at halftime. Want to make sure that they come out in the second half just as sharp as they did in the first for Coach Gates.
Fuller looking to drive. Strickland thought about it. And there's a turnover, 3-on-1 break. Marquez Warwick. And Missouri gets a much-needed basket, snapping the run.
Good tough finish there by Warwick as a result of that zone defense the Tigers were just in, continuing to muddy things up.
Turning it over 4 times in 2 minutes. Missouri flips it there, gets a turnover of their own. Anthony Robinson might have gotten an elbow from Fuller that time. Strickland in amongst the trees, draws a foul.
Really good head fake there by Strickland to get the defense flying through the air like that. It's a good job of the Sharks keeping things simple against that zone. Got a high ball screen, coming off the ball screen, kick swing.
This earns a trip to the foul line for Strickland. His coach and father looking on. Tomorrow we'll have a women's basketball triple header right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. It starts at noon Eastern, 11 Central, but highlighted by Tahina Pow and number 3 South Carolina hosting South Florida. Coverage of that game begins at 2 Eastern, 1 Central time. So Missouri's lead down to 17. Robinson guarded by Fuller. Bates on the drive, gets right to the basket, and that's what Missouri needs to do more of to get things turned around on the offensive end.
Yeah, they do. They've got to attack the glass, get to the free throw line maybe a little bit. Tamar Bates, good job of attacking there. Somewhat of a quiet first half for him relative to his previous game, but of course Trent Pierce kind of came in and took some of that responsibility.
6 points now for Bates, coming off the 29-point effort against the Jayhawks you mentioned. Malachi Davis into the paint, draws a lot of attention and draws a foul.
That's what he does so well, and he's done so well all afternoon, is drawing that attention. Even if he doesn't get a bucket out of it, it does great things for this LIU offense, being able to attract all that defense. You're the Sharks. I mean, right now, you can't lose. If you attack the basket hard, it's either going to end up in a decent shot attempt or a foul. So they've got to continue to keep being aggressive and attacking the basket.
Anthony Robinson picks up the foul. It's his second. That's a really good way to get back into a ball game. Free throws, scoring while the clock isn't moving.
Yep. Malachi Davis shoots at 85% from the line.
2 of 2 that time. He's got 12 points to lead LIU. Warwick running offense for Missouri. Mitchell. That's an easy one for Mark Mitchell.
Yeah, Mark Mitchell gets those dumb-down passes a lot off of the ball screens. LIU's kind of double teaming those ball screens, or hard hedging, and then they lose themselves on the rotation on the back end.
Strickland can't answer back. Rebound by Mitchell, who's got 11 points. And Missouri pushing the pace as they like to do, trying to get back to that. Robinson cut off, and Missouri able to reset. For a screen and roll there, nothing open for Shaw. Robinson on the drive, lost it. Bates saved it. Missouri just 6 to shoot. Mitchell, same corner where he hit that big 3 against Kansas, and grimacing as he went down that time. It's a Missouri turnover. 15-13 to go in the second half. Missouri with a 19-point lead. Missouri with a comfortable 19-point lead. Hasn't been super comfortable here in this second half, but this is the kind of bump you get when you're Missouri, which has played one of the weaker non-conference schedules in the country, but when you beat number 1 Kansas, jump up to number 37 in the net rankings.
Yeah, I think that just goes to show how strong the SEC is from a basketball perspective this year. I'm no expert, but I thought Missouri would have jumped a little bit higher after being number 1. But I think it just goes to show, again, they haven't had the toughest non-conference schedule. They've had a huge amount of home games, but again, just really goes to show the strength of this SEC conference this year.
Well, I mean, a lot of the experts are predicting that the SEC could challenge the record for most teams from one conference in the NCAA tournament this season. So I don't think Missouri has to worry about strength of schedule long term. They're going to see all those teams, and they're going to have to play similar to the way they did against Kansas to have a lot of success in the SEC.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Ben. I think that win against Kansas was huge. If you're Missouri, or if you're a Missouri fan, you see that non-conference schedule and you might think, well, how is that going to match up, or how how's that going to translate to a very tough conference schedule? And I mean, you see the win against Kansas. I think that answers all your questions.
And of course, they're going to have plenty of games. They got a home and home with Oklahoma, who is ranked in the top 15 right now. Again, they're going to have a lot of chances. Illinois has a tough game against #1 Tennessee later today. And the Tigers see the Illini in just, 9 days. Texas A&M has a halftime lead on Purdue, I'm told. A lot of big non-conference games today. So Missouri has their win over Cal that they can also tout. You've got a good record coming out of the SEC this year. I'm pretty sure you're going to go to March Madness.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that's a pretty promising metric there.
Almost reminds you of Missouri's days in the Big 12. Mitchell off the inbound, cut off. Made something work, almost got his own rebound. And it's hauled in by Lasso. Strickland in transition. It's a good baseline cut. Lee can't finish. Gets his own rebound. A rebound that time by Mitchell. Missouri with numbers. Mitchell dumps it off to Shaw. And Shaw can't get it to go. Gets his own board and draws a foul.
There's that strength in Shaw that I don't know if Missouri fans have seen in prior years. Just his ability to get to the basket and go up strong off of 2 feet, and then again to get the offensive rebound. Really good job there by Aiden Shaw, keeping things active for Missouri.
Missouri plus 8 points in the paint. Now another trip to the foul line. Shaw misses the first. He's just 54% from the line this season.
Tigers just 53% from the line here this afternoon. Maybe the one weak spot in the box score so far.
Shaw got the second one to go. And Missouri's lead back to 21. Steele, one bounce and gives it up to Brent Davis. Missouri throwing that zone at LIU again. You know the Sharks are going to have to heat up from the outside to cut into this deficit fast.
Yeah, they're making things so hard right now, the Tigers are, for the Sharks to drive and penetrate. There's really no open driving lanes, and that's when the Sharks have been at their best, when Malachi Davis can find that open area, that driving lane, and kick it. But Missouri is just making it so hard to take more than just a couple dribbles.
Shadrick Lassou called for a foul. And Missouri will have a chance to increase their lead. Robinson looking to drive. There's the roll by Shaw. They go to him on the second pass, and Shaw goes to work in the middle, getting the roll.
Aiden Shaw and Mark Mitchell have made a living today off of the ball screen action. LIU is really doubling hard and having to rotate quite a few players on the backside of that ball screen action, and Aiden Shaw has been able to capitalize on that quite a bit.
Davis, long rebound into the hands of Steele. Strickland looking to drive, forces it up, can't get it to go. Robinson the rebound. Missouri with a 3-on-2 break. Warwick cut off to the trailer Mitchell. Steele can't get there. Missouri will have another chance. They've got numbers. Mitchell, straight line drive.
That's what he does so well, those straight line drives, those quick decisions, decisive moves there by Mark Mitchell.
Missouri matching their largest lead of the day, I do believe, at 24. Boy, Missouri doing such a good job of cutting off those driving lanes. Steele settles for the three. Shaw and Lassou battle for the rebound, and that's out of bounds off of Shaw.
LIU struggling to score, but Missouri not so much. You can see Aiden Shaw keeping it strong down there in the paint. The quick turnaround move over that shoulder gets it to go. And then again here, Mark Mitchell, beautiful drive. A little avoid the charge move there on the baseline. Gets it to go with his offhand. Shows that athleticism. All the different moves he's got. Definitely an NBA caliber type of offensive player.
Steal off the inbound. Robinson goes straight to the rack.
My goodness, I don't think the fans in this arena were expecting him to dunk that. I don't think I was either, to be honest. Just shows you that athleticism of 6'4" point guard.
Well, remember, Missouri tried to run a backdoor alley-oop for Robinson in the first half. He's an athlete.
Take a second look at this. Gets it in transition. Way too easy of a look here off a 1-foot baseline dunk. All of 6'4", maybe in shoes. This kid can fly, I can tell you that much. Again, the confidence that he has exuded so far this year, just a young sophomore, has been incredible.
Lee back to the basket against Mitchell. Rebound by Cruz, and then Pierce back into the game. See how he follows up that first half performance. A three from Warwick.
And that's that seasoned veteran right there. Marquez Warwick hit him with a little jab step. Great, just enough separation. Wide open three.
Warwick with 10. He's the third Tiger into double figures scoring. Strickland cut off, nowhere to go. Rejected by Mitchell. And then out of bounds. We'll see if it's staying here when we come back. Missouri starting to push this thing. Their lead to 29. Marquez Warwick with his second three of the ball game. And the Missouri Tigers are running away from the Long Island Sharks. Missouri pushing their lead to 29. He can't count to 29 yet.
Not quite, but he's enjoying it.
Everybody who's rooting for Missouri is enjoying this Saturday matinee. Marquez Warwick enjoying this Saturday matinee. Missouri shooting 64% as a team, and Warwick is right in line there. He's 4 of 6 from the field.
Yeah, Marquez Warwick coming off the bench, 11 points on 6 for 8 shooting. He's 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. Just showing his abilities from the offensive perspective. This is a guy who, in his past years in college, has scored the ball at a very high level. He's got that graduate mindset, very composed, brings a lot of confidence and leadership to this Missouri Tigers team.
And of course, this has been mentioned many times early in the season. Came into this year out of Northern Kentucky as the active leading scorer in all of college basketball, so you know he can fill it up.
Yeah, he sure can. He doesn't hold that record anymore, but anytime he comes in the game, he always has very efficient points per minute numbers. He's played just 20 minutes so far this game, and 11 points, no turnovers and assists, doing everything that Coach Gates wants him to do. Come in and lead as a veteran and score the ball when he's open.
Had a close out of bounds play right before our last break. Possession stays with Long Island. As Missouri defends the inbound closely, there's only 12 seconds on the shot clock here for the Sharks, so they'll have to go fast. Trent Pierce back into the game. Just joining us, he had 17 points in just 8 minutes off the bench in the first half. A delay here before the inbound, maybe adjusting the clock. They got the shot clock now at 25. And it gets reset to 13. I think a second came off whenever that ball was kicked on the first inbound. It's kicked again by Pierce. Active hands, active feet, too.
Yeah, just making things hard. Especially when you're trying to throw it to the baseline like that. When you got that length in Trent Pierce, I mean, good luck.
There you go. Third time's the charm. He gets the deflection and the steal. And now the transition three. That one just off the mark. Reward the big man.
Yeah, no kidding. I know LIU maybe didn't start Trent Pierce super hard, but I mean, I'm keeping eyes on him anywhere he goes. He's already a hard guard because the way he elevates and gets off the floor and he's so tall, but LIU's got to stay stuck to him.
Steele back in the game now to Strickland. Missouri once again just forcing LIU out from the basket. Drive, the lane closes, but still converted by Steele.
And that's exactly what you do.
Excuse me, Davis.
exactly what you got to do if you're Davis when the defense pushes you beyond that three-point line like that. As soon as you have the bottom defender, with Jacob Cruz that time, as soon as he goes back out to the corner like that, Davis attacked hard.
Cruz is a shooter. Had one rattle out on him in the first half, but that one goes down. Missouri's lead is 30. Almost a steal. Set a corner three. That goes down. That time that was Mr. Steele.
The thing with LIU is anytime they get good open set looks, they've been seeming to knock them down, especially in the second half. The problem is they just haven't gotten the looks, but when they get them, they're knocking them down.
Pierce has had a couple of looks. There's an offensive rebound. Perkins got it.
So many pieces on this Missouri team who can shoot the three ball. Jacob Cruz, Tony Perkins just came in off the bench, joining in on the fun. So many different weapons.
There's so much great buy-in from Missouri offensively in the half court. Nobody is ever trying to create their own shot. All of these threes are catch and shoot in rhythm, and that's why they're 11 for 20 today.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, you've got obviously Tamar Bates, Mark Mitchell, Caleb Grill before he got hurt, but in general, you never know who on this Missouri team is going to be the offensive guy on any given night, and Coach Gates knows that, and I think all of the guys have an understanding that it may not be me tonight, and that's totally okay.
That one just rattles out by Warwick. Steal and slam, Mark Mitchell.
Mark Mitchell is always in the right place at the right time.
Look what I found.
I'll take that.
And now Mitchell has 13 points. He's also got 7 rebounds, so he's hunting a double-double. Almost had a triple-double on this homestand earlier in the season by Anthony Robinson. Strickland. There's Lander with the three. He was wide open.
Those open looks, again, they're looking good for LIU, but that Missouri defense switching things up. It's hard to get a lot of open looks.
Second three by Blake Lander. This LIU team opened their season with a 30-point loss at Ole Miss. Missouri's led by as many as 30 in this game. Bucket, triple, foul. Chance for a 4-point play for the second time today for Mizzou, and this time it's Jacob Cruz.
Take a look at the 6'8" guard and Jacob Cruz, the sharp shooter, coming off the little dribble, handoff, give and go action, rises up with authority there. The second 4-point play opportunity of the day. You don't often see that happen.
For a Missouri team that loves to run up and down the floor, their half-court offense from day one to now, great improvement.
Huge improvement. I think just looks so fluid. They look like they're in one accord. And with Malachi Davis just fouling out, actually, LIU offenses, they're going to have to find someone to fill that gap as he's on the bench for the remainder of the game.
Finishes with 12 points, averages 17 a game as the Sharks' leading scorer, so they'll be without him for the final 8.5 minutes here. Missouri's lead back to 30. Lee cut off by Pierce. Poked it away. Again, just Missouri hounds everybody. They don't care what the team is. They don't care what the deficit or the lead is. They are hunting turnovers every second. Almost had another one as Mitchell was out of bounds.
Well, if you have that mindset, it doesn't matter who it is. If you have that mindset every single possession, you just build such great habits. And they're going to need to continue to solidify those habits on the defensive end before they reach SEC season.
See Aiden Shaw. He's got 6 of Missouri's 41 points off the bench today. And that continues to be another thing that is a game in and game out thing for Dennis Gates' team. This depth is allowing them to just dominate other teams in bench score.
Yeah, the bench is accounting for right now more than half of Missouri's total points. So balanced just from top to bottom.
Nearly half of that coming from Trent Pierce, who's still stuck on 17, but look at the defense that he's brought. He's already got 1 steal off an inbound. Forced him to try to inbound it 3 times the last time they were baseline out of bounds over here. And Pierce eventually got the steal, which led to a bucket on the other end.
Pierce just another sophomore. So young. A lot of upside.
Not quite 7 feet, 6'10", but as we've seen today, he can shoot it. Missouri almost with the steal. Perkins in the neighborhood. There's going to be a foul call here. It's either Perkins or Boateng. It's Perkins. Honor Boateng just checked into the game for the first time. And And now Trent Pierce will take a seat as Shaw came back in. Well, Pierce is going to stay in. It's Mark Mitchell who goes to the bench.
Coach Gates says, I have options.
He does. Played a lot of guys today. That's part of what helps Missouri be able to be so hounding defensively, is they're able to throw waves of energy at you. Boateng. And they are going to call the offensive foul there. Extended that forearm.
Connor Boateng, not a ton of minutes, not a lot of action from him in the last couple games, but he's a player similar to Mark Mitchell that just makes really quick, strong, decisive moves like this. And yeah, maybe a little too much there on that off arm. Strickland in perfect position, but yeah, you can just tell he's such a strong guy. Maybe a little bit of extracurricular activity on that off arm.
Force him to make that call. See how much leeway they're gonna give you. Yep. Pierce off the turnover, drives and draws a foul. Under 8 minutes to play in Como. This has been all Mizzou. Tigers lead by 30. Minutes to play. Missouri's bench once again at it. They are averaging 44 points a game. They're at 41 so far this afternoon.
Yeah, that's just an incredible statistic right there. You've got 4 players off the bench who have scored today, and the only 2 players from Missouri who are in double figures are Trent Pierce and Marquez Warwick, both of which come off the bench. And so, I mean, second in Division I in bench scoring. I mean, just goes to show how much we've talked about the options and the balance and the depth that Coach Gates is working with right now. And to have your bench average 44 points a game is just incredible. And
to be right on that average, just 3 points off of it with still 7:47 to play, while you've got Caleb Grill still out of the lineup. Remember, Missouri's had a 33-point game and a 25-point game from Grill alone off the bench this season. Since he's been out with a neck injury suffered against Lindenwood, there hasn't been any drop-off in the bench production. Yeah, that's a great point. A lot of people forget probably that Caleb Grill does come off the bench, or has historically at his time here at Missouri. So, I mean, those are even more points unaccounted for. It's a team that has won 8 straight games and is well on their way to their 9th straight win, with the last several, including wins over Cal and KU without their leading scorer, Caleb Grill. Very, very promising sign for Coach Gates. Perkins to Cruz, that's open. Flying in was Pierce. Almost had an emphatic tip slam. And that is turned over again by LIU. Good job there. The Tigers getting back and set on defense. You saw 10 guys just all out sprint up the court that time. Having this big a lead allows Dennis Gates to experiment with some lineups. Right now it's Perkins, Boateng, Shaw, Cruz, and Pierce. Tigers seeing that zone again. Perkins, 14 to shoot. Shaw trying to help him out. Open look in the corner. Missed a foul there. Rebound by Strickland. Lander way out from the basket. Baseline drive. Jalen Lee has to kick it out. Strickland. There's Fuller from the corner. Air ball. Rattles around. Lassou can't score, but Fuller can. Good job by LIU keeping it alive there. The Tigers had a great defensive stand. Just got to get a body on a man as soon as that ball goes up. Boateng using that power again, going right at Lassou. Can't get it to go. That was physical. Sure was. Good defense there by Lassou. Good job not fouling. Ready to see Marcus Allen for the first time today. He's at the scorer's table, ready to check in at the next chance. Fuller rejected. That was Lassou actually just absolutely swatted by Pierce. Pierce now lost control, but it looks like a foul coming here on the Sharks. Take a look at this block. It was a perfect pass by Fuller. Great dump down pass, but Trent Pierce said not today. He's got that wingspan and kind of recover if he's behind a little bit. Such a good job today. Trent Pierce, Aiden Shaw, Mark Mitchell. Rim protection has been huge for the Tigers. 7th team foul will send Pierce to the line for a 1-and-1. And he'll get a second shot. Allen comes in. Shaw sits. Pierce with his first point of the second half. He's got 19 now. Already a career high. We'll see if he can get his first career 20-point game. Missouri's been a little sloppy offensively here in the second half, but because of their defense, they've been able to maintain this 30-point lead.
And Missouri's got 12 turnovers, not terrible, but they have been a little bit sloppy in terms of their movement on the offensive end in the second half. But like you said, Ben, their defense has been so stifling, it hasn't made a difference on the scoreboard.
And you see it right there. Missouri didn't have a field goal in the last 3.5 minutes, but they forced a shot clock violation. Perkins and Pierce, or Perkins rather, will check out as Shaw came back in. Missouri coaching staff telling their players to pick up the pace in the half court. Boateng cut off. Warwick. They're trying to feed Allen. Boateng looking to drive. Under 10 to shoot. Warwick. Boateng, open three. Offensive rebound by Cruz. Warwick, a little hesitation. Step back, baseline jumper.
Really good defense by the Sharks, just a better move there by Warwick. I know it's not a statistical category, or maybe not be something that people are watching very closely, but Jamal Fuller's on-ball defense has been very impressive all game. And they've gotten some defensive breakdowns on the back end, trying to recover out of rotations. But, I mean, Jamal Fuller's on-ball defense has been stellar. So we've got 4 minutes to take note.
Strickland from way out. He's into double figures, 11 points for Terrell Strickland.
Coach's son, he can shoot it pretty well. Near 40% three-point shooter.
Shaw. Attack the basket, but good defense by Jamal Fuller. Strickland again. Jalen Lee in the corner for Fuller. He drives baseline. Open look for Lee. Good. Xinyi Lee.
It's not an easy pass to make either by Jamal Fuller. That wraparound baseline pass. Great shot there by Lee.
He's got 5. The sophomore from Beijing. Manhattan transfer. Cruz lost his man. Can't get it to go. Back tap into the hands of Jalen Lee. Lander picked up. Feeds Xinyi Lee. Out to Strickland. Fuller from the corner. Boateng ends up with the basketball. Missouri pushes tempo.
Sharks couldn't get that last one to go, but that may have been the best ball movement I've seen from them all afternoon.
Cruz wide open, a little strong off the back iron. Lander on the other end, got it to go. LIU's had their moments. They had that 8-0 run early in the second half, and now these last few possessions. They're on a 6-0 run, or 9-0 run, pardon me. And this is exactly what I'm sure Rod Strickland wants to see closing this game strong.
Yes, the Sharks can definitely take some things away from this game. They've had several little mini runs and several really good moments, just haven't been able to string them along, or string them together long enough.
Warwick.
My goodness. So casual. I mean, no expression, no nothing. Beautiful shot.
Cold-blooded, man. We mentioned earlier that Missouri doesn't do a lot of off the dribble, create the shot for yourself, but hey, when he can do it like this, green light Marquez Warwick. Missouri with a comfortable lead with under 2.5 minutes to play. Long Island has spent the majority of the non-conference season on the road, and they're actually going to get to come home for a little bit here as we wind down the month of December.
Yeah, it's been very opposite for these two teams. Seems like the Tigers have not left the state of Missouri all season, and on the other hand, LIU has been some road warriors all year.
Yeah, it is the completely opposite on the Missouri sideline. As you mentioned, they opened the season a month ago at Memphis, have not left the state since, and they won't. You got Jacksonville State here on Tuesday, then Bragging Rights, which is, yes, in the state of Missouri at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis. Then they'll wrap up non-con with Alabama State, and then finally leave the Show Me State again to go to Auburn. And that's quite the way to start your conference campaign.
Yeah, no kidding. Number 2 Auburn to start. But the Tigers have had arguably even bigger games already this year, so I'm sure Coach Gates will have them ready to go.
And we talked about that earlier. Just, you know, the thrill and the excitement, obviously, for defeating your blood rival in a huge game when they're ranked number 1, but got to give this Missouri team the feeling that they can beat just about anybody. A lot of big games in the SEC today in the non-con. Texas A&M has a lead on Purdue in the second half. Auburn is up 20 on Ohio State, by the way, speaking of the Tigers from the Plains. So they're not having any trouble there. That's at a neutral site. Missouri forces another turnover. Marcus Allen to Boateng. T.O. Barrett back into the game for Mizzou, so 3 of their 5 freshmen are in the game right now together. Boateng just battling the entire team down low for LIU, and he's able to salvage the possession.
Yeah, there's not a guy on this Missouri roster who lacks in the effort department. And I've been to a few practices, and I know exactly why that's the case. Coach Gates doesn't coach effort, but I mean, it's very impressive to see from top to bottom the effort that these guys show for all 40 minutes.
Trent Pierce with his 5th 3 of the game, adding on to the career high. He's got 22. At Florida and Arizona State later today, Ole Miss and Southern Miss, Louisville and Kentucky in that big rivalry. And I have to point this out. You know, I spent two years of my career in Tucson. It is strange beyond words to look at UCLA and Arizona being a non-conference game between a Big Ten and a Big 12 school.
Yeah, that is wild.
If that doesn't sum up the conference realignment of the last 4 or 5 years, I don't know what does.
No kidding. Non-conference game. That's pretty wild.
Loose ball. Lee tracks it down as we go under 90 seconds to play, finishing this one out. Barrett in the corner to Allen. Drive and kick. Boateng thought about a 3. Instead, he's going to try to move his way to the hoop. Good cut by Barrett, but the pass wasn't there. Davis puts it up and scored by LIU. That was Jalen Lee. Under a minute to go as we wind this one down.
Trent Pierce just continues to have his way. He's got some 3-pointers. He's got a dunk. Scoring in the paint. Incredible night for Trent Pierce, his first 20-plus point game of his career.
He'd already blown out his previous career high, which was set earlier this season. That was in the season opener. Was knocking down everything for a while there. And the final 10 seconds tick away. Another lopsided win for Missouri. These Tigers have won 9 in a row. 88-61 the final today, Jordan.
Really great showing by the Missouri Tigers. Balanced scoring. Their bench scoring was so impressive. They almost accounted for half of their points. Extremely efficient shooting. They shot above 60% from the field, or nearly 56% from the field, 50% from the three-point line, and of course that stifling defense, holding LIU to just 37% shooting. Very well-rounded, well-balanced effort from the Missouri Tigers here this afternoon.
Plus 229 point differential during this winning streak. So certainly far from the toughest strength of schedule in the country, but Missouri's been doing what they should do to some of these teams. And the other thing is, it seems like it's a different guy every single night. Today it was Trent Pierce, and we're joined by Trent Pierce right now. Trent,